What if you could build a successful company without wasting years and millions on a product nobody wants? Ries, the entrepreneur who revolutionized how startups are built, discovered a system that lets you test your ideas in days instead of years, pivot before you run out of money, and build exactly what customers actually need. Today, we're breaking down The Lean Startup, the book that changed entrepreneurship forever. Ready? Hello, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into The Lean Startup, how today's entrepreneurs use continuous innovation to create radically successful businesses by Ries, one of the most influential business books of the 21st century. Ries isn't just a theorist. He's a battle-tested entrepreneur who learned these lessons the hard way. He co-founded IMVU, a 3D avatar social network that became profitable to advise countless startups, including Dropbox in its early days, watched his first startup fail spectacularly despite brilliant technology developed the lean startup methodology from these painful lessons. This book originated from Ries's frustration with traditional business planning. He watched brilliant teams build perfect products that nobody wanted. He saw companies follow detailed 5-year plans that became obsolete in 5 months. He experienced the crushing waste of building features customers never used. So he created a different approach, one based on rapid experimentation, validated learning, and iterative product releases. The lean startup methodology has since been adopted by thousands of companies, from two-person garages to Fortune 500 giants. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to test your business ideas scientifically, avoid building products nobody wants, and create a sustainable engine of growth. Ries begins with a brutal truth about startups. The statistics: 75% of startups fail. Most fail not because of bad execution, but because they build something nobody wants. Founders waste years of their lives and millions of dollars before realizing this. The traditional approach. Here's how most startups operate. Step 1. Have a brilliant idea. Step 2. Write a detailed business plan. Step 3. Raise money based on that plan. Step 4. Build a product for months or years. Step 5. Launch with huge fanfare. Step 6. Discover nobody wants. Step 7. Run out of money and die. This is called build it and they will come thinking. Why this fails? The fundamental problem: you're making assumptions, not testing hypotheses. You assume customers have the problem. You think they have your solution solves that problem. Customers will pay for your solution. You can reach those customers. You can build the product you envision. These assumptions are often wrong. And by the time you discover they're wrong, you've spent everything. The painful reality. Ries shares a story from his first startup. They spent years building revolutionary technology, a 3D avatar platform with incredible features. They raised millions. They hired brilliant engineers. They executed flawlessly. And when they launched, crickets. Turns out customers didn't care about 90% of the features. The technology was brilliant, but it solved problems customers didn't have. They had committed the cardinal sin of entrepreneurship, building something nobody wants. The lean startup solution. Ries realized startups need a scientific method for entrepreneurship, not business plans based on assumptions, not just execute based on untested ideas. Instead, treat your business idea as a hypothesis to be tested. The goal isn't to execute a plan. The goal is to learn what actually works as fast and cheaply as possible. Ries introduces the foundational concept of lean startup. What is validated learning? Traditional thinking measures progress by lines of code written, features shipped, meetings held, money raised. Ries says all of this is waste if you're building the wrong thing. Validated learning is progress measured by learning what customers actually want, validated by real customer behavior, not opinions. The IMVU pivot story. At IMVU, they originally planned to build an instant messaging add-on. The assumption: people want to use avatars in their existing chat programs. They spent 6 months building integration with every major IM network. Brilliant execution. Flawless code. Then they talked to customers. Customers said, "We don't want to add avatars to existing chats with existing friends. That's weird, but we'd use avatars to meet new people." 6 months of work became irrelevant in one conversation. The lesson: they should have tested the fundamental assumption first. They could have done this in days, not months. How to validate learning. Step 1. Identify your riskiest assumption. Not can we build it? Engineering risk, but will customers want it? Value hypothesis, and can we grow? Growth hypothesis. Step 2. Design an experiment to test it. Not a focus group asking opinions, not a survey asking what people would do, but actual behavior showing what people actually do. Step 3. Define success criteria in advance. Not, let's see what happens, but if X% of customers do Y, a hypothesis is validated. Step 4. Run the experiment and measure real customer behavior in the real world. Step 5. Learn and decide. Hypothesis validated. Proceed hypothesis invalidated pivot. The Dropbox example. Drew Houston had an idea, cloud file syncing, but how to validate that people wanted it before building the complex technology. Traditional approach. Build it, then see if people use it. 18 months, $1 million plus. Lean startup approach. Make a 3-minute video showing how it worked. 3 days, $0. The video went viral. Beta signups exploded from 5,000 to 75,000 overnight. Hypothesis validated. People want this product. Now build it. The power. Drew Houston spent 3 days and $0 to learn what would have taken 18 months and millions to discover through traditional building. That's validated learning. Ries introduces the engine that powers lean startup. The build, measure, learn feedback loop. This is the fundamental cycle. Ideas build product, measure, data, learn ideas. Most people think it starts with build. Wrong. It starts with learn. Reversing the order. Step 1. Learn. What do you need to learn? Not let's build features, but what's our riskiest assumption that, if wrong, kills the business? Example. Will customers pay $10 per month for this? Step 2. Measure. How will you measure if you've learned it? Define the experiment and success criteria. Example. Will offer a paid beta. If 10% of free users convert to paid, hypothesis is validated. Step 3. Build. What's the minimum you need to build to run that experiment? Not the full product, just the absolute minimum to test the assumption. Example. A landing page with pricing and a Buy Now button that explains it's not ready yet, but captures intent. The key insight. The goal isn't to build a product. The goal is to get through this loop as fast as possible. Fast loops equals fast learning equals finding product market fit before you run out of money. Measuring the loop. Rise emphasizes. Your most important metric is cycle time. How fast you complete one loop. Can you go through build, measure, learn in 6 months? Too slow. You'll run out of money. 6 weeks? Better but still slow. 6 days? Good. 6 hours? Excellent for some experiments. The competitive advantage. The company that learns fastest wins. Not the company with the best initial idea, not the company with the most money, not the company with the biggest team. The company that can run the most build, measure, learn cycles in the shortest time. So you understand validated learning and the build, measure, learn loop. But here's where it gets practical. How you actually build something minimal enough to test assumptions, but substantial enough to generate real learning. Rise reveals the most misunderstood concept in startups, the MVP. Let's discover what it really means. Rise introduces the most famous and most misunderstood lean startup concept. What MVP is not. Most people think MVP means a crappy version of your product to product with minimum features, something embarrassing you're ashamed to release version 0.1 that barely works. Wrong on all counts. What MVP actually is. The minimum viable product is a version of the product that enables a full turn of the build, measure, learn loop with minimum effort and development time. Let's break that down. Minimum. Absolute least you can build viable, sufficient to test your hypothesis product. Something customers interact with, full turn of the loop, generates validated learning. The purpose. MVP isn't about releasing a product. MVP is about testing a hypothesis with minimum investment. Types of MVPs. 1. The video MVP, Dropbox. Drew Houston's 3-minute video wasn't a product at all. It was a demonstration. But it tested the hypothesis. Do people want cloud file syncing? Answer, hell yes, 75,000 signups. Cost: 3 days of work alternative cost. 18 months of building before knowing. 2. The concierge MVP, food on the table. Hypothesis: people will pay for personalized meal planning. Traditional approach: build AI and algorithms for personalization. Concierge MVP: manually create personalized meal plan for customers. One customer at a time, by hand. Doesn't scale at all, but it validated. Yes, people will pay for the service. Once validated, then build the scalable version. 3. The Wizard of Oz MVP. Make it look automated but manually operated behind the scenes. Example: Zappos founder tested, will people buy shoes online? By taking photos of shoes in shoe stores, posting them online when someone ordered, buying the shoes, and shipping them. No inventory, no warehouse, no complex logistics. Just testing. Will people buy shoes online without trying them on? Answer: yes. Then build the real infrastructure. 4. The landing page MVP. Create a landing page describing your product with a sign-up or buy now button. Measure: how many people click. If nobody clicks, your value proposition isn't compelling. Fix it before building. If people click, hypothesis validated. Now build. The Dropbox video revisited. Why was Drew Houston's video so perfect as an MVP? It tested the value hypothesis. Do people want this? It cost almost nothing, 3 days. It generated measurable data, sign-up numbers. It validated before building, save 18 months. It was faster than any alternative. The key questions. Before building anything, ask: 1. What's the riskiest assumption? 2. What's the minimum I can build to test it? 3. How will I measure if it's validated? If you can answer these 3 questions, you have your MVP. The emotional challenge. Ries acknowledges: releasing an MVP feels terrible. It's not your vision. It's not polished. It's not impressive. But here's the truth. Better to release something embarrassing that teaches you what customers want than something polished that nobody needs. Your ego will recover. Your bank account won't. Rise addresses a critical problem. How do you measure progress when you don't have revenue yet? The problem with traditional metrics. Startups often measure total users, website, visits, social media, followers, downloads. Rise calls these vanity metrics. They make you feel good, but don't tell you if you're making progress toward a sustainable business. Innovation accounting. This is Rise's framework for measuring real progress. Step 1. Establish the baseline. Create an MVP and measure where you are right now. Not where you want to be, where you actually are. Example metrics. Conversion rate, visitors to signups. Activation rate, signups to active users. Retention rate, how many come back. Revenue per customer acquisition cost. Step 2. Tune the engine. Make small improvements and measure if the numbers move, not big launches. Small experiments. Example, change the headline. Does conversion improve? Example, add a tutorial. Does activation improve? Example, email reminders. Does retention improve? Every change is a test. Step 3. Pivot or persevere. If the engine is tuning, metrics improving with each change, persevere. If the engine isn't tuning, metrics stuck or declining despite changes, pivot. The 3 A's of metrics. Rise insists metrics must be actionable. The metric must clearly show cause and effect. If the metric moves, you know why. Bad metric. Total signups increased. Why? Viral growth. Ad campaign. Random fluctuation. Good metric. Signups from email campaign, 12%. Signups from Facebook ads, 3%. Clear cause. Email works better than Facebook. Do more email. Accessible. Everyone in the company must understand the metrics. Not buried in analytics dashboards only data scientists understand, but simple. Clear reports everyone can interpret. Auditable. You must be able to verify the numbers by talking to actual customers. Not just analytics telling you conversion rate is 15%, but the ability to call customers and confirm the behavior. Cohort analysis. Rise emphasizes tracking cohorts, groups of customers who signed up at the same time. Don't look at total users, vanity metric. Look at cohorts. Is each new cohort better than the last? Example, January cohort. 20% still active after 30 days February cohort. 25% still active after 30 days March cohort. 30% still active after 30 days. This shows real progress. Each cohort is better versus total active users growing, but mostly because you're adding new users while old users churn. The first shows product market fit improving. The second doesn't. Rise addresses the most agonizing decision founders face. What is a pivot? A pivot is a structured course correction designed to test a new fundamental hypothesis about the product, strategy, or engine of growth. Not just a minor change. Not giving up. A fundamental change in strategy while keeping one foot rooted in what you've learned. Types of pivots. 1. Zoom in pivot. What was a single feature becomes the whole product. Example, Flickr started as a multiplayer game. One feature, photo sharing, became the whole company. 2. Zoom out pivot. What was the whole product becomes a single feature of something larger. Example, Instagram started as Burb location check-in app. They zoomed out and made photo filters one feature of a broader photo sharing app. Then they zoomed in on just photos. 3. Customer segment pivot. The product works, but for a different customer than you expected. Example, Potbelly Sandwich Works started as an antique store that sold sandwiches on the side. Turned out people wanted the sandwiches, not the antiques. 4. Customer need pivot. The target customer has a different problem than you thought. Example, Groupon started as a platform for activism. Turned out merchants needed customer acquisition more than activists needed organizing tools. 5. Platform pivot. Change from application to platform or vice versa. Example, YouTube considered being a dating site. Pivoted to general video platform. 6. Business architecture pivot. Switch from high margin/low volume to low margin/high volume or vice versa. 7. Value capture pivot. Change how you make money. Example, free to freemium. Ad-supported to subscription. 8. Engine of growth pivot. Change how you acquire customers. Example, viral growth to paid acquisition. 9. Channel pivot. Change how you deliver the product to customers. Example, direct sales to partner sales. 10. Technology pivot. Achieve the same solution with completely different technology. When to pivot. Rise says pivot when Sign 1. The product hypothesis is invalidated. You built it. Customers don't want it. No amount of tuning fixes it. Sign 2. You're no longer learning. You're running experiments but gaining no new insights. Sign 3. The runway is shrinking. At your current burn rate, you'll run out of money before finding product market fit. How often to pivot? Rise advocates regular pivot or persevere meetings, perhaps monthly or quarterly. Look at the data. Are we making progress or spinning wheels? The data forces a conversation. The emotional challenge. Pivoting feels like failure. You're admitting your original idea was wrong. Rise reframes. A pivot is not failure. It's validated learning. Every pivot is progress. You now know something you didn't know before. Instagram pivoted from Burb. Groupon pivoted from activism. YouTube pivoted from dating. These pivots weren't failures. They were breakthroughs. You now understand MVPs, metrics, and pivots. But here's what separates successful startups from failures. Sustainable growth. Not growth from one-time campaigns or paid ads that disappear when you stop paying, but engines of growth that compound. Rise reveals the 3 engines and why most startups choose the wrong one. Rise identifies 3 fundamental ways startups grow sustainably. Why this matters. Most startups think about growth wrong. They confuse activity with progress. Lots of tactics, ads, PR, partnerships, etc., but no coherent strategy. Rise says, pick one engine of growth, master it, then consider others. Engine number 1, the sticky engine. This is about retention. The model, acquire customers, keep them. Revenue comes from customers staying, not constantly acquiring new ones. Key metrics, customer retention rate, customer churn rate, the opposite, lifetime value, LTV. The math. If your acquisition rate, churn rate, you grow. If your churn rate, acquisition rate, you die. Simple as that. Examples. SaaS subscription businesses, Netflix, Spotify, Salesforce. Mobile apps with daily users, any business, where customers come back repeatedly. The strategy. Focus obsessively on reducing churn and increasing engagement, not on acquiring new customers primarily, but on keeping the ones you have. Why it works. Retain customers. Cost nothing to acquire. Already acquired. Often increase spending over time or for others. Provide stable, predictable revenue. Engine number 2, the viral engine. This is about customers bringing customers. The model. Each customer brings more customers through organic sharing, not paid ads. Key metric. Viral coefficient. How many new customers does each customer bring? Viral coefficient 1. You shrink over time, viral coefficient equals 1. Flat growth, viral coefficient 1. Exponential growth. Examples. PayPal, sender and receiver both needed accounts. Dropbox, referral program with two-sided incentives. Facebook, inviting friends to connect. WhatsApp, useful only if contacts use it. The strategy. Build virality into the product itself, not as an afterthought. The product doesn't work well unless you invite others. The math. If viral coefficient equals 1.1, you start with 100 customers. They bring 110 new customers, who bring 121 new customers, who bring 133 new customers. Exponential growth with no ad spend. The challenge. Achieving viral coefficient 1 is extremely difficult. Most products have viral coefficients of 0.1 to 0.5, but even small improvements compound. 0.5 to 0.6 doubles your growth rate. 0.9 to 1.1 transforms linear to exponential. Engine number 3, the paid engine. This is about unit economics. The model. Acquire customers profitably through paid channels. Key metrics. Customer lifetime value, LTV, customer acquisition cost, CAC, LTV, CAC ratio. The math. If LTV, CAC, you can grow profitably. The greater the margin, the faster you can reinvest and grow. Examples. E-commerce with strong unit economics, B2B software with high lifetime value, any business where you can profitably acquire customers. The strategy. Find channels where acquisition cost is less than lifetime value. Then pour fuel on those channels. The trap. Many startups have CAC, LTV. Every customer loses money. They solve this with more funding, which just accelerates death. The fix. Either decrease CAC, better targeting, cheaper channels, improve conversion. Increase LTV, better retention, higher prices, upsells. Until LTV, CAC, you don't have a business. You have a money-burning machine. Choosing your engine. Ries emphasizes, don't try to optimize all three. Pick one. Master it. Then consider adding another. Trying to do all three means doing none well. Ries draws on his manufacturing background to explain a counterintuitive truth. The envelope stuffing example. Imagine stuffing 100 envelopes with letters, seals, and stamps. Approach 1. Large batches. Fold all 100 letters, stuff all 100 envelopes, seal all 100 envelopes, stamp all 100 envelopes. Approach 2. Small batches. Complete one envelope fully. Fold, stuff, seal, stamp. Complete the next envelope fully. Continue one at a time. Which is faster? Instinct says large batches. Economy of scale, rhythm, efficiency. Reality. Small batches are faster. Rise as people test this, and small batches win every time. Why small batches win? Reason 1. Faster feedback. With large batches, you don't discover problems until the end. You folded all 100 letters wrong, redo all 100. With small batches, you discover problems immediately. You folded the first letter wrong, fix it before folding number 2. Reason 2. Less work in progress. Large batches mean 99 incomplete envelopes sitting around. Small batches mean 1 incomplete, 99 complete. Reason 3. Faster learning. Small batches let you adjust as you learn. Applying to startups. Most startups work in large batches. Build features for months launch all at once, hope customers like them. Better, small batches. Build one feature, ship it, measure customer response, learn, and adjust before building the next. Continuous deployment. Ries describes IMVU's practice, deploying to production 50 plus times per day. Not build for weeks then release, but build tiny changes, release immediately, measure, learn. The benefits: bugs discovered instantly, affecting few customers. Features tested immediately, validated or invalidated fast. Learning accelerated, 50 experiments/day versus 1/month. The fear: but releasing 50 times per day will break everything. Rise's response: only if you don't have the right infrastructure. IMVU built. Automated testing, easy rollbacks, gradual rollouts, monitoring dashboards. This makes small batches safe and fast. Rise addresses whether lean startup works beyond two-person startups. The challenge: large companies have established processes, risk-averse cultures, quarterly earnings, pressure existing customers to protect. Can lean startup work here? Rise's answer: yes, but differently. Innovation teams. Large companies should create small, autonomous teams to run lean startup experiments, not integrated into the whole company. Create protected spaces for innovation. The Toyota example. Rise learned from Toyota's production system. Toyota, a massive corporation, maintains startup-like innovation through small autonomous teams, permission to experiment, protection from corporate bureaucracy, direct customer contact. General Electric, GE adopted lean startup principles through Fast Works program, small teams with autonomy, direct customer contact, MVPs, and rapid iteration metrics-driven learning. Results: faster product development, better customer fit, less waste. The key principles for large companies. 1. Create internal startups. Small teams, 3 to 5 people, with clear mission autonomy to experiment, direct customer access, protected from corporate processes. 2. Metered funding. Don't give $10 million upfront based on a plan. Give $100,000. Validate assumptions. Give more based on learning. 3. Separate innovation accounting. Don't judge innovation projects by revenue in month 3. Judge by validated learning and engine tuning. 4. Parent company support. Provide resources, infrastructure, brand, customers, without imposing processes. The Intuit example. Intuit created innovation catalysts, employees trained in lean startup who help teams run experiments. Results: more successful innovations, faster time to market, less waste. Rise identifies activities that feel productive but generate no learning. Waste number 1. Building features customers don't want. The biggest waste happens when you build based on assumptions, not test, listen to opinions, not behavior, follow the roadmap, regardless of feedback. Solution: test value hypothesis before building. Measure actual usage after shipping. Waste number 2. Overbuilding. Building way more than needed to test a hypothesis. We need to test if customers will pay. Builds full enterprise platform with 50 features, when all you needed was a landing page with a price. Solution: MVP. Absolute minimum to test a specific hypothesis. Waste number 3. Speculative infrastructure. Building infrastructure for scale you haven't achieved. We'll need this when we have 1 million users. Builds it when you have 100 users. Solution: build infrastructure when you hit pain, not before. Waste number 4. Ignoring the data. Running experiments, then ignoring the results. We tested it and customers didn't want it, but let's build it anyway. Solution: if you're going to ignore the data, don't run the experiment. Respect what you learn. Waste number 5. Bureaucratic busywork. Meetings about meetings. Reports about reports. Process for process's sake. Solution: every activity should either build something, measure something, or teach something. If it doesn't, it's waste. The Lean Startup by Ries revolutionized how we build companies. The core insights. Most startups fail by building something nobody wants. Treat your business as a hypothesis to be tested, not a plan to execute. Validated learning. Learning what customers actually want is the only real progress. Build, measure, learn is a fundamental loop to accelerate MVP isn't a crappy product. It's a minimum to test a hypothesis, measure progress through innovation accounting, not vanity metrics pivot when learning stops or hypotheses are invalidated. Choose one engine of growth, sticky, viral, or paid, and master at work in small batches for faster feedback and learning. Avoid the 5 wastes. Unwanted features, overbuilding, speculation, ignoring data, bureaucracy. The philosophy: traditional startups are built on faith. We believe customers want this. Lean startups are built on validated learning. We've tested that customers want this. Faith feels good but kills companies. Validated learning feels uncertain but creates sustainable businesses. The process: state your hypotheses, value, and growth. Design minimum experiments to test them, build the MVP, measure real customer behavior, learn what's working and what ISNT, pivot or persevere based on data, repeat until you find product market fit. The impact: lean startup has influenced thousands of startups avoiding costly mistakes, major corporations like GE, Toyota, Intuit government agencies adopting evidence-based policy, the entire vocabulary of entrepreneurship, MVP, pivot, validated learning. The methodology works because it's based on a simple truth. The fastest way to succeed is to learn what works, not to execute perfectly on untested assumptions, not to follow a 5-year plan, but to run rapid experiments, measure real results, and adjust based on evidence. Here's the question I want to leave you with. What's your riskiest assumption? The thing that, if wrong, kills your business. And here's the follow-up. What's the smallest, fastest, cheapest experiment you could run tomorrow to test that assumption? You don't need months or millions to validate your idea. You need a hypothesis, an experiment, and the courage to face what you learn. The data will tell you the truth. The question is, will you listen? If the lean startup has shown you that building a company is a science, not a gamble, I need you to do 3 things. First, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We break down the books that give you frameworks and systems, not inspiration, but methods that actually work. Second, share this video with someone building something, a founder, a product manager, someone with an idea. The lean startup methodology could save them years of wasted effort. Third, leave a comment answering this. What's one assumption you've been making about your business or idea that you've never actually tested? What experiment could you run this week to validate or invalidate it? Let's build accountability and help each other avoid the trap of building what nobody wants. Remember, the goal isn't to build a product. The goal is to build a sustainable business. And the only way to do that is to learn what actually works, validated by real customer behavior, not opinions, not plans, not faith. Test your assumptions. Build what customers actually want. Iterate faster than anyone else. Thank you for watching. Now go run an experiment.